say before the time starts that just me being up here on stage is a little bit of payback for 5 years now of making other people get up on stage and tell their stories. But I'm ready now. So the story is actually about a job that I had a long, long time ago. It was one of my first jobs when I first bought my house, and I worked at a medical answering service in a suburb near here. I won't give too much identifying information because I'm about to give you a lot of incriminating information about this business. And this business was a medical answering service where, you know, if you call your doctor after hours or before they open, somebody answers the phone and they're like, you know, Dr. Quintiliano's office, you know, and you start asking them questions like they are, you know, like what time's your appointment? Do they have any appointments for you? And they say, I'm sorry, I'm just the answering service. That was me. I learned a lot during there. I mean, you would not believe how many people wake up in the middle. This is disgusting. Is anybody still eating? Close your ears. You would not believe how many people wake up in the middle of the night with roaches caught in their ear. It's horrible. I mean, this is not the point of the story either. It's just I have to digress on that a little bit. That and the guy who called me once, and I was like, medical answering service. He's like, hey, I just got shot. What do I do? I'm like, you go to the hospital. You go to the emergency room. He's like, I tried to make sure that my insurance would cover it. I'm like, they're going to cover it. Don't worry about that. I have staked my job on that. The problem with this place was that the guy who ran it was a little crazy. He had a wife, he had a mistress, he had a couple of girlfriends. And so we were always like not just, we had probably 200 doctor's offices that we answered for, but we also answered for, I'd say, at least 20 people for him, personally, that all had to get different answerings or, different messages about where he was, where he wasn't, where he was last night, where he most certainly was not last night. So it was a big drag on us, and he was a single owner. I mean, it was his place. So when he first started all of us, he took us in the office. He's like, listen, this is my place. I'm just trying to make a living. I need you to sign this piece of paper that says you won't take overtime if you work over 40 hours a week. But, I'm not going to try and do it. Maybe it'll happen every now and again. It's no big deal. Everybody signed it. It was all fine. Well, of course, my first week I worked about 45 hours, and then my second week I worked about 45 hours, and then my third week I worked about 50 hours, and we all ended up working an enormous amount of overtime. And for a while, this was fine for us, and it was fine for me. I mean, I was like 19, 20 years old, so I didn't need a lot of money. So just like the extra hours was plenty for me. But my coworkers, and this is hardly incriminating information, my coworkers did an enormous amount of cocaine on the job, off their desks. I mean, I worked the overnight shift, so I was 11 to 7, and I was alone. So 6:30, other people start coming into the office. 6:30 in the morning, right? And this one woman especially, she was the one that started it, because she was just big and brassy and Italian, and like everybody loved her, I'll call her, I can't come up with a name, that wouldn't be incriminating. But so she comes in, she's like, hey Dan, how you doing? Like always a million stories about wherever she was coming from. 6:30 in the morning, she already has had adventures. I mean, she's had stories, So she comes in and she puts down her bag and she opens it up and she takes out a little plastic baggie and there's like a rock in it, and then she takes out her credit card and she just starts grinding cocaine off of the rock and filing it into these lines and snorting lines of cocaine off of her desk. Well, then everybody else comes in as they start to come in closer to 7, and of course I'm working a little overtime because we're very busy. Oh God, okay, so anyway, I'm gonna go over, but it's worth it. So they all come and they see her doing that. So anyway, money was a bigger problem with them. They were also married and had kids. I could have just said that. But, so money was a bigger problem. Eventually it became a real big problem. We were working for free. Well, for no overtime. So, does anybody remember when Hallmark had those make-your-own card consoles out in the card stores? So we decided that the best way to get back at my boss, because remember, he has all these different things going, all these different people. He's just like taking on this new girlfriend, he's paying double what he's paying everybody else. Well, we went to the Hallmark card making machine one day with rubber gloves, just in case. And, you know, we went to the sympathy section, and we picked just a very simple front that just had a little grave on it, with some little flowers in front. And inside, we wrote, "We know what you did." And we just like left it under the door, like the door from the outside, so that nobody knew that this is an inside job. Well, what happened was he started carrying a gun to work every day. And every day he would come in like in a rush and just slam the door shut, open the curtains and like check and see if anybody had followed him inside, and then slam the door in his inner office and start doing cocaine. So that didn't work out very well. And since I'm over time, I want to say that ultimately what happened was we just called OSHA. I mean, there are government agencies that enforce labor laws. They came in, they interviewed us. All they had to ask was, "Do you guys get paid overtime if you have more than 40 hours?" We said no. They said that's illegal, and we all got big checks.
I think I'm going to give you this dice. I don't know why. Yeah, and like gambling, cocaine, that's like the association that was going. Yes, I believe that you will. I think that's why I gave them to you. All right.